So from AM Business, we move into a conversation that is all very familiar, and often we use words such as fatal, horrific, gruesome. We use these words to describe the many accidents that have occurred on our roads, and we talk about it just like we're talking about it this morning. There are lots of discussions, lots of words, commitment, and yet we see the accident occur again and again and again. This latest one, 2 children have lost their parent in an accident which occurred Tuesday dawn at Kyekyewere on the Accra-Kumasi highway. The death toll has risen to 17, with several passengers injured and battling for their lives at the Suhum and Nsawam government hospitals. Let's bring back that story, and then we will tell you about another accident that occurred just last night.
14 people have so far lost their lives, with 35 others injured. 2 children below 6 years lost their parents in the accident, which happened at Kyekyewere on the Accra-Kumasi highway. 2 Accra-bound passenger buses crashed into a cargo truck headed to Burkina Faso with bags of flour. The 2 buses, a Kia Grandbird and an STC bus, carried over 60 passengers. The Kia Grandbird was heading to Accra from Bolgatanga, while the STC bus was also heading to Accra from Walewale. Those who survived the accident suffered various degrees of injuries and have been sent to the Suhum Government Hospital and the Nsawam Government Hospital. The leader of the fire service team dispatched to the scene, Station Officer 1 John Kofi, spoke to JoyNews.
We were called around 4 a.m. So we used about 15 minutes to arrive on the scene. We interviewed one of the drivers. He said he was driving away from Bolga, whereby as he alighted at Walewale, he picked some passengers into the car. So as he was driving to this Kyekyewere, the driver was sleeping.
Gideon Fianco lives around. He tells me that at 5 a.m., he heard a loud sound, which he later discovered was an accident involving 2 passenger buses and a cargo truck. He said he rushed to the scene and told me this.
We were in the home. Early in the at 4:30 to 5, we hear a big noise, sound. Blah, 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 blah. What happened? My wife said it was accident, so we rushed to the place, and we came. There was a very, very serious injury. People died, and people they cannot fit talk, so they are just crying, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. So we rushed them, and then we rescued them from the incident. So we was there, the firemen who came and helped. That's what I say.
All right. So this bus, which is a Grandbird, as you know, was coming from Bolga to Accra. And then the STC was moving from
you said Boko to Accra.
Boko to Accra.
And the trailer was from Accra to, what they call, no. He said it's going to Burkina. Yeah, it was Burkina car. So it was that car which caused the accident. The trailer.
Because as you know, this is a double road, but one inbound and one outbound. So that means all the
2 buses were going to Accra. Yeah. So the trailer was going to Burkina. He said a blast tie. But we went there, we did not see any driver or any mate. Nobody was in the car, in the vehicle. The trailer, nobody was in the vehicle, but it caused a very big damage. But we have not seen anything about the driver or the mate. So we cannot talk much about that place.
So the idea is that the trailer ran into these 2 buses?
Yeah, the trailer ran into these 2 buses. So the trailer caused the accident between these 2 buses. So they wanted to swerve, but they do what they can, but they couldn't survive.
So as you can see in your shots, this is the Grandbird bus, one of the buses involved in this accident here at the scene. Was carrying 44 persons, and this bus was coming from Bolgatanga to Accra. So you could see from there was such a collision with this bus and then the STC bus and then a trailer which was involved. The trailer is still around. It has not been towed away. As you can see, this bus will soon be towed away by the Road Safety Management Services.
The medical superintendent of the Suhum Government Hospital, where the bodies of the 14 who lost their lives have been deposited, spoke to JoyNews.
Today, we had 22 patients being rushed to our accident and emergency unit. Out of that number, 2 were children under 5 years, and 18 were seen. The 18 that were seen they had minor injuries, so they were seen, treated, and discharged. We currently have 1 on admission with some lacerations, with facial lacerations, so he's been managed, and 1 had injury into the abdomen, so he was stabilized and referred to the Kyekyewere Regional Hospital. We also had 13 brought in dead. Out of that number, 6 were female and 7 were male. So in summary, that's what happened.
So far, 18 of those involved in this accident who were sent to the Suhum Government Hospital have been treated and discharged, with 1 referred to the Kyekyewere Regional Hospital.
So as at the time of filing this report, the death toll was 14, but we now know that it is 17. We'll try and get the latest as we consolidate the figures in a little bit. But, you know, just after this accident later on, there was another one, this time on the Gomoa Dam near Gomoa and Taze on the Kaswa Cape Coast Highway in the Central Region, where we're told some 5 persons died in this accident. Let's hear from Apam District Fire Commander DO1 Adolf Ankoma Nuyama and Medical Superintendent of Apam Catholic Hospital, Dr. Paul Acha, with details.
We were called that there was an accident around Gomoa Adams and Gomoa Chirimkwanta. Actually, when we went there, it was very horrible. It was headlong collision, 4 transit and a Toyota Haze. So we were actually, when we got there, we saw that those at the front, both cars, they were all trapped. But we observed that those at the 4 transit, they were already gone. They were dead. And those at the Toyota Haze, they were crying. Actually, they were very crying. So we have to make sure that we work fast. So we did the curtains and everything, and we were able to release them and gave it to the ambulance before we went to the 4 transit to also make sure that we release the dead bodies and give it to the ambulance. Taking and was speeding must stop, because according to eyewitness, it was unnecessary overtaking by, I think, the 4 transit or so. So actually, when we went, it had already happened. And the cause and everything will be left for the police. But that is what we know it happened. It's overtaken. So we are pleading with the drivers that this road is very hot road. So they have to make sure that they reduce speed and they will be very much careful when driving. Yeah.
Between 2 buses at Goma Odomasi, in which the 2 drivers are well. 14 people were involved, 5 passed, and then 7 had serious injuries. We are having difficulty with the referral, hoping to get a spare space in other places. But if we get a best space, we'll refer them to the according health facilities. But they are all stable. The 7 are stable, currently stable. We've managed them, but 5 were brought in dead, so they are at the morgue. So they are all men. All men. They are all men.
So that's the updates on this latest one that happened. So just in one day, we've lost so many lives. And we, like I said, we talk about these things. We talk about it when it happens. We share our sentiment. We use different words to describe what we've seen. And then it happens again. Dr. Akyea Darkwah is a transport consultant. He joins us for a conversation on the back of this. Doc, good morning to you. I hope that you can hear me. Dr. Akyea Darkwah, good morning to you. Can you kindly unmute yourself so we can hear you? Hello, sir. Okay, I hear you say good morning, but we can't get the sound. It looks like we have a challenge with that. We'll take a breather, work on that, and come back on this conversation. All right, let's connect with Dr. Akyea Darkwah, who's a transport consultant. Good morning, sir. Hopefully we can hear you.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Thanks for joining us. Not a very good morning, but you must be tired talking about road accident and why it keeps occurring. Nothing happens. We'll come back and have this conversation. You must be really tired.
Very, very, because the
Well, unfortunately, with the connection is breaking now that we can hear you. We're having difficulties there with a stable connection to Dr. Akyea Darkwah. He's a transport consultant helping us with this conversation on the many road accidents that we keep witnessing. Dr. Akyea Darkwah, apologies there, we lost you because the connection wasn't so great. If you can begin your submission.
Good morning again. I was saying we are so much tired about this road accidents, and we know the causes of these accidents. We know the solutions. Still, we're very little. It's so pathetic and so sad. The number of people that we are losing. When you look at from 2015. The accident keep on rising up to date. And we were thinking that all of us were estimating that with the presence of this COVID, where a movement was restricted, it's going to have a positive impact on the death on our road. But it's showing rather negative. It is rather rising. Injuries are rising. Deaths are rising. And you can see that the common cause are also exhibited in these two accidents that happened only yesterday. When you look at what happened in Kyekyewere near Suhum, is what? Tyre burst. And if a tyre burst with a loaded vehicle descending a hill with high speed will result in some of these things that we are seeing. Look at what happened in Gomoa, Udumase, overspeeding, taking, and crash. These are the things. And we can solve it, because most of the causes of these things are as a result of the drivers. The drivers are the main forefront of these ones. And I also say the vehicle owners are also contributing into sin. The vehicle owners are contributing to sin because tyre burst. Before a driver drives, he has to make sure that the vehicle's tires are intact. But the vehicle owners must provide the tires after even the driver has identified that the tires are not good. But you tell the vehicle owners and they don't listen to these drivers. That's one great cause. So this interface between the car owner and the driver is causing a lot of death on our road. And then drivers, I've been advising them anytime I teach them, if your vehicle tire is not good and your master says go, don't go, because we don't know what's going to happen to you on the road.
I appreciate where you're coming from, and it looks like this is not, so this is like a... Hello, Dr. Akyea Darkwah, we're losing you there again. Hello, Dr. Akyea Darkwah. Okay, we seem to have lost Dr. Akyea Darkwah, transport consultant, who's helping us understand why we still witness some of these road accidents. Dr. Akyea Darkwah, just at the tail end of what you were saying, we lost you right there. But I was saying that I appreciate where you're coming from. It looks like this is not, the cause is not one, because this angle that you bring in is also pretty new to, I guess, some of us, where you talk about the owners of the vehicle not providing the right things that the cars will need. And you talk about the tires, for instance. Who brings all these things together? So if the car owner is not doing the right thing, if the driver is either tired and is still behind the steering wheel driving, if somebody is overtaking, if somebody has overloaded, who is supposed to ensure that all these things are right?
I can't hear you.
Okay, Dr. Akyea Darkwah, can you please hear me now?
Yeah, now it's better, but I didn't hear what you said previously.
Okay, so my question is, who brings the pieces together? Who brings the pieces together? And I'm just following up on the tie example that you make with the car owner.
Very good. The third is this. The police, the MTDD, should greatly help us in this direction. One, when they are on the road, they should have the mechanism and then the knowledge to test the vehicle's tire, whether it's good and safer for use or that vehicle which it is falling under. The police do that, and they should continue with the way they work on the road. They should continue with it.
Wait, hang on, Dr. Akyea Darkwah. Do you?
The car vehicle.
Sorry, sir. Did you say that the police do that? They check the car tires, or or they are supposed to?
They are supposed to check the vehicle tires with the help of the union, transport unions. I know for sure. Some time ago, when the GPR2 was doing this data, that before every vehicle that is a long distance vehicle leaves their station, they make sure that the station masters and the people there will check the tires and see that they are in good conditions. But at the same time, the police also should add it up to their role, because tire burst is one of the leading causes of death on our road. So they should check, they should have the equipment that can help them to check if they don't have, such that they can make sure a mid-tire worthiness vehicle drive on our road. The police can do that to reduce this part of the thing. Third is that the training, when training goes on, drivers will understand that if the tires are under their vehicles are not good, they should never drive their vehicles. And by that, it means that when they drive, it is not helping anybody. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we're following you, Dr. Akyea Darkwah.
Yes. So the drivers should also arm themselves with safety gadgets. And what is it? The safety gadgets they have to arm themselves is simply like this. If they are trained with proper training, what they will know is that if the tire is not good under their vehicle, they should not heed to the instructions of their owners that they should go and come the next week, will buy another tire for you. No way. Because when the accident happens, they do affect their drivers. A lot of drivers die through such accidents. And therefore, they should also protect themselves by not driving vehicles that have unwholesome tires.
Yeah, just before you move to the third point, that sounds right. But if I refuse to drive the vehicle, I am losing my livelihood. It's not as simple as that.
That is where a driver must equate his life with money. Do you want to die because your tire is not good and your car owner is not providing for you? Do you want to die? If you think money is of value for you, then the unions will come in, that they will check the tires before you leave the station. That means that they are protecting the lives of the drivers. If the tires are bad, they call the vehicle owner to make the tire good before they leave. The third phase will be that the police will be on the road with the National Road Safety Authority will be on the road. That will be the third phase. Such that if the vehicle tires are not good, they will arrest the drivers. The drivers, and then call the vehicle owner to come to replace the tires before they let you go. When these three phases are done systematically, we wouldn't have bad tires on the road, bursting and care. And finally, is that although we know insurance are paying for the deaths and injuries of victims, and also paying for vehicle compensation, the vehicle who are using the owners who are using their vehicle for commercial business must make sure that if they don't change their tire, the law should be also twisted. Should be made such a way that they would also apprehend and find and punish vehicle owners who leave their cars, their faulty cars in the hands of drivers to kill passengers and drivers. You know, we can do this systematically, and all this problem will solve. For example, when you talk about overspeeding, who overspeed a vehicle? That one is a unique responsibility of the driver. Is the driver who does the overspeeding. So if a driver is overspeeding, and the police are also on the road using their radar gun and those things, they can make sure they can see the vehicle that overspeeding, arrest the driver. But what to do is that should also take their own lives and safety into their own hands. Try to disallow any vehicle that is driving overspeed. You know, so that when this happens and we get people, we can measure the speed of a vehicle in an accident. After the accident, we can measure. So when you do this, take this measurement, and you find out that the driver was speeding before causing such a crash, then the driver would then be held responsible. And then we should also look at our punishment, the laws. The laws, we say road crashes are not criminal offenses. So the drivers kill people, and they go that with a very low fines. So there is a complete system that we have to make sure that we overhaul and make driver training compulsory. All drivers, as it is said in the law, the LI 2180, it specifically says that all commercial drivers must go through driver training periodically, and these are not done. This year, for example, I can't tell you institution drivers have gone through any training because of the COVID. No training has gone on in the country. When training becomes less, road crashes becomes more. This was exhibited in 2015 when the World Bank trained a whole lot of people in the country. And the resultant effect was that the road accident was very low, came very low, very, very marginable. Okay? But when we stop training, that crashes will go high.
Dr. Akyea Darkwah, we appreciate the bit about Ghana, but if you look at this accident, this one on the Suhum Road, we're told that the bigger vehicle, the truck that essentially caused the accident is not a Ghanaian vehicle. This is a foreign registered vehicle. And I wonder what the protocols are in terms of these vehicles. Driving at that time of the day, for instance, and overloading. What are we supposed to do? Are they supposed to be on our roads? Dr. Akyea Darkwah, did you get my question, please? Okay, unfortunately, we've lost the connection to Dr. Akyea Darkwah. He's a transport consultant, and the other leg of the conversation was on the fact that the truck involved in this accident is a foreign registered vehicle. Just wanted to get the understanding of the protocols that they are also supposed to be to go through. Dr. Akyea Darkwah, fortunately we have you back. Just a final bit of the conversation. I wanted to know what the protocols are, because the truck involved in this accident, from the eyewitness accounts, what caused the accident really is this vehicle that is not Ghanaian registered.
Yes, it's simple. When any vehicle, foreign vehicle, go.
Unfortunately, can we raise him on the telephone line so we can just finish this conversation? I'm not sure that Zoom is doing us any good this morning with this conversation. Dr. Akyea Darkwah is a transport consultant. You may have been following this accident that happened, that we told you about, I guess just about the same time yesterday on the Suhum Highway. But just later on in the evening, there was another one that happened on the Gumwa Road that also claimed some 5 lives, and there are human beings battling their lives right now in the hospital. We keep recording these accidents, and we keep recording really higher figures. Dr. Akyea Darkwah, thank you for joining us on phone. I just wanted us to finish this conversation smoothly. So you're telling us about the foreign vehicles.
Yes. If a foreign vehicle enters the territory of another country, he is obliged to go by the rules and regulations in that country. if Ghana has our systems and our transport, governance system properly, what will happen is that they would abide by it. If you are from a foreign country and you are coming, and Ghana has it that if your vehicle is, the vehicle size group is less than 1.600, 1.6 mm, you are not allowed to enter Ghana. It means that at the border, the car will not even enter. If he has load, he loads from a particular place. If the vehicle is leaving the town, there are police enforcement there, if not a unionized station. But most of them belong to a union. These unionized people will check with just a coin. They can test the level of wear, that's the tread wear on the tire. You can just check it without difficulty at all. If it's below that standard, the union people should disallow that car to leave the station. And then also, the police would also come into help by making sure that they check this same tread wear on the vehicle, that it falls below 1.6 mm, they will also disallow. So when it happens like that, we don't care whether it's from foreign or from anywhere. We are applying Ghana rules and safety on our road. When we do that, we protect everybody.
So who is failing us, Dr. Akyea Darkwah? Who has failed us?
The system. The system is failing us.
When the system means, what is the system?
The system means from the vehicle owners are not doing their rightful duties, their rightful responsibilities, and what is they are obliged to do, they are not doing it. By not maintaining the vehicles very well, vehicle type death means that either the tire has elapsed, the lifespan has elapsed, and we can find that it is easily noticeable. Or whether the tires are so worn out, and you can see that also clearly. So the vehicle owners must provide good tires. So it starts from them. The drivers who are driving the vehicles, they also have a role to play. If they go through proper training, they will not use a worn-out tire whilst driving on long distances, even short distances. When we come to the unions have a role to play to help to make sure that vehicles that are leaving their car stations or their truck stations have the right maintenance culture, or they have the right size for their vehicles. When they do that, they can also prevent some of this. Then finally, the police who make sure they maintain, make sure people become responsible on the road. They will also find out vehicles that do not have the right staff of maintenance and tire provisions before you allow them to pass. So that is the system. It starts from the driver to the police. And then also the passengers who are involved if it comes to overspeeding. So when all these things are done right, it will help us. One thing I would pray to Ghana that the companies or the NGOs who have previously advocated for passengers' rights, we don't hear from them. We don't hear about them too much this time. After Ghana Pass owner died, I'm not hearing too much about passenger organizations. These are NGOs that try to go to stations and educate passengers for the passengers to know their safety rights while aboard of vehicles. And all this must be done right.
Well, Dr. Akyea Darkwah, we'll leave the conversation here. We appreciate, we're all pretty tired of talking about the same things, but can you imagine what will happen if we didn't talk at all? So we really appreciate the thoughts that you share with us and the understanding that you bring to this conversation. He's a transport consultant, Dr. Akyea Darkwah. Stay with us. You're still watching the AM show. We will come back with our hashtag Wednesday Physics on our National Science and Maths Quiz 2020 conversations. And we will be telling you also about the schools that are through to the 1/8 stage of the competition.